So Mezco 1/12 Collective has been around for quite a few years now, and I didn't own any yet. But I went to the toy department and saw your family reviews. James, he convinced me to buy this, and I did. I bought it, and for $80, yeah, that's a lot of money for a single figure. Do I regret it? Not at all. I don't know why my finger was popping all that time. I don't know if you heard it, but my middle finger kept popping. Very odd. But yeah, for $80, it's pretty good. But it's not perfect. It's not like super amazing. But still, for my very first Mezco, and not my last, because I'm gonna get Mr. Freeze, I'm pretty impressed. So one thing I want to look at real quick is the tin. This is the Invincible Iron Man Previews exclusive. Let's raise the camera up a little bit. So yeah, this is he came in a freaking tin, man. Not Tin Man, but tin, comma, man, exclamation point. Previews exclusive, Iron Man, Marvel, Mezco, Toys.com. Oh, I just bonked him. Yeah, really nice tin. It's good. It's high quality. And on the back here, you can see the figure and then all the stuff he comes with, which I already have laid out. You can see some product shots, and it's really impressive, man. I thought about getting the normal one, but number one, the toy department had the stealth, and they didn't have the normal one. But number two, I don't have a lot of stealth Iron Man in my life, so I figured let's get the stealth one. You can see how it's just packed in there. He's got some silica gel, some plastic, and the stand and everything is basically packaged the same way. On the bottom, you have to lift it up, and I'm not going to bother doing that. So yeah, you get a nice heavy tin with it, and then you get a very nice heavy figure. Very nice Mezco, man. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. So let's talk about the accessories he comes with first. So he comes with two big blast effects, which I will show these on him later. But he comes with those he can plug into, I think, either his hands or his feet. But I think these are nicer in his hands. Kind of clear at the end. They got a big blast at the base. Kind of sharp, though. They're flexible, but they're still sharp, so be careful about those. So you get two of those. Then you get two little missiles that plug into his wrists, which are really, really sweet. I love those. I'll show those off. You get two of these. Four of these, actually. They might all be slightly different each, but I mean, you don't... It's like, oh yeah, this one's slightly different, guys. Really noteworthy to mention that it's slightly different. Even though I think, yeah, I think it's the same. I think they're the same. You get four of those. So you can plug two into each foot, or you can have one in the foot and one in the hand. It's up to you. It's an option. And then you have these, which are really sweet. These are the flares. Now you can swap out the pieces on the side, and you can have the flares, which is really awesome. He used those in Iron Man 1, and I'm sure he's used them in the comics. But you can see he's got the little painted things at the tips. Really nice. Hand-wise, he has two open hands for his repulsor. They are actually still painted in there, which is really nice. Most toy companies don't do that, but they are recessed. So you can plug in either, oh, that just fell on the floor. Either that effect part, or let me fetch that hand. Oh my gosh, where'd it go? Or this effect part. So yeah, you have some options there, which I really appreciate. So you can put those in, but then you have the Uni Beam, which is really sweet. He actually has the chest beam, which is really cool. It is actually a part of the chest armor, so you have to pop off that existing armor plate, put that on, and don't worry, I'll show that off. So, and then, for the base, you have a peg. If you just want to peg him onto the base, you have that option. And then, getting him off the base, come on, you have the arm, which the joints are really nice and tight. Like, it's a nice arm. It's actually one of the nicest I've seen, but I don't know, it's not the best. I feel like they should have definitely given you an option to make this more modular, maybe make it shorter in some areas. It's not as bad as like the old Toy Biz flight stand where they have a plastic screw. It's not that bad. But you do have like metal screws in there, you can loosen it. But yeah, I can't get a bend any more than this. Like, this is how it has to be if I want this cradle to have him standing just on the base. And you can see it leaves a lot of space on the back, so that is a bit of a problem. But the base itself is very nice. I mean, look at that. That is a nice freaking base right there. That is nice. But then this arm, it is stiff enough to like support his weight, which we'll talk about, because he does have some die cast in him. But I don't really like the cradle too much. I don't know, it just seems kind of awkward. Like, you can kind of get him in there, without like putting him in a pose. Like you can see it supports him, but it's very dubious support. It worries me. I'm worried he's gonna fall. So I doubt I'm gonna have him displayed up in the air, which is unfortunate, but still, you do have that option. So yeah, that's all the accessories. Let's talk about the base figure, and then we'll play around with those accessories. So, if you haven't noticed already, this thing's absolutely gorgeous. He is so gorgeous. Look at this dark blue, like the dark blue, and then the light blue on top of it, then the red. Oh my gosh. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that helmet. Look at that freaking helmet, man. That is nice. This is kind of like a Mezco modernified version of Iron Man's very classic retro costume. That's why you have like the two little dots by the arc reactor, and then you have the shoulder things right there. It's definitely a classic homage. Like you can see the helmet shape. It's not supposed to be like any modern or super MCU Iron Man. I mean, look at the thighs right there. That paint is gorgeous. I mean, it's very basic. You can see it's a very basic sculpt and paint deco, but it's done so well and so gorgeously. I mean, look at that arc reactor right there. It'd look really nice if it was lit up. It'd look very nice if that lit up. Oh my gosh. I really wish the arc reactor lit up. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Oh wait, it does! I wonder how many people thought, like, man, this guy doesn't know it lights up. Look at that. It's so bright you can actually see it. You can actually see it like that. Oh my gosh. Look at how bright that is. It's so bright. But you can pop this off. Gotta show it. Gotta show it. Oh my gosh. It actually illuminates the beam really, really well. I mean, I got the studio lights on it, but like just turning it off, can't notice too much. But you can see the difference. Like it actually illuminates the beam very, very nicely. It's a very nice light. And it's good, man. It's good that they included that. Unfortunately, it's just for the chest, no helmet light. Then again, you'll see why it doesn't have a helmet light. I mean, the Comic Cave Iron Man figures, which I do have a couple of, actually I have a few of at this point, oh my gosh. They have the light that goes up to the helmet. This one doesn't because it has a Tony Stark head, which you probably already saw that on the tin. But look at that. That is gorgeous. It's one of the nicest Tony Stark faces I've ever seen. He's got like a bit of a smug look to him. It's definitely soft. Mezco definitely has a soft look to it. But it looks realistic, man. It looks really good. And unlike some Hot Toys, it can actually magnetize to the top. And it looks straight. It can be straight and it doesn't sit awkwardly. There's some Hot Toys Iron Man figures where they don't even get that right. So yeah, that's definitely a kudos to this one. I don't even know how I'll display him because that looks gorgeous. I mean, getting it down, I mean, the helmet sculpt is so nice. He looks so dead serious. Let's play around with one of these accessories. He just has a little slot right there, which you can swivel. I'll show that in Articulation. You just get that slotted in. Definitely be careful not to break it. But just get that. There is a flat side. There's a flat side and a not flat side. So make sure the flat side's facing down. And then it should go in. There we go. Oh my gosh. And then you've got, I'm assuming it's supposed to be his tank missile. But yeah, you do have like his tank missile, which is really cool. Just a tiny little missile that's capable of destroying a tank. You know, that's all it is. Nothing major. So you do have that. And the hands are really easy to swap. Playing around. Oop. Back panel came off. You can see how that works. He actually does include the batteries, which is nice. But just pop the hand off. It's really easy. It's really easy to just pop a new one in. And then there we go. He's blasting. So anyways, I started blasting. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's really nice. That's really nice looking. And then you can get these in the feet. You actually have two holes in the feet. You have one right there and one right there. So you can have either one in the foot, or you can have two in the foot. I actually think two in the foot looks really cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a toe joint because of that hole right there. But it would have been nice to have a toe joint. I think that would have really helped. Ankle articulation's a little lacking, though. We're going to talk about that. But then you do also have, got to show off the Ric Flairs. That's a wrestling guy. Yeah, you just pop those off and then pop that on. And look at that. He comes with freaking flares, man. How many Iron Man figures come with a flare? I mean, the thing with Mezco 112 is that they're emphasizing the 1/12 scale and trying to say, hey, we basically make high-end 1/6 scale stuff at half the size and half the cost. That's why this is $80. Because it's like a 1/6 version of this would have been like this guy particularly, because he has some die cast in him. You'd probably be looking at like $250. But this was only 80, so it's not too bad. I mean, look at it, it's gorgeous. It's freaking gorgeous, man. I'm so happy I got the stealth one. So yeah, that's pretty much like the accessories and the looks and everything out of the way. Let's talk about articulation. I just want to show off. I usually have them with one of these hands. I like these hands a lot because they're still like, they still look like repulsors, but you could also just use them as like, say, oh my gosh, that back panel. I didn't realize how easily that came off. I've never had issues before making this video. I'm being serious. But you can just have them like, huh? What are you talking about, man? I'm freaking Iron Man. So yeah, that's great. But anyways, oh, I almost forgot to mention, this is actually really crappy, awful part of him. He has no sculpt on the inside of the mask, but they put a little sticker in there. It's not even on mine. So yeah, I gotta admit, Mezco, that's pretty, that's pretty cheap. That's reminded me of like a dollar store toy over here. But yeah, it's at least something they did. Articulation. He's got multiple joints at the neck. Look at that. Oh my gosh. He can do everything you want him to do at the head. Absolutely everything. That is maximum range. Shoulders can move up all the way. Can swivel all the way. You have a bicep swivel. You have a double jointed elbow, which only really gives you 90 degrees, man. I feel like they could have done better. But you do have a gauntlet, and you do have really nice. I cannot talk tonight. I was about to say today too, and I said tonight, so even that came out weird. Oh my gosh. Really nice wrist articulation. All of the batteries and electronics are the upper torso, so you don't really have to worry about the lower torso with anything there, but you don't have a lot of range. You have a decent back and forward, but not too much. The legs is where I start having issues. Because number one, I don't know if you've noticed, that's really, really loose. I have no idea why. I don't know if there's a way for me to even tighten that, but yeah, that is super loose. Get out of there, hair. That is one of the loosest joints I've ever seen. Look at that. Look how loose that is. Yeah, that's a problem. But still, you actually do have a joint going down. You can get them kind of kicking straight, but you're not going to get any ground pounds out of them. You don't have enough waist and you don't have enough leg, unfortunately. No ground pounds here. No superhero landings. You do have that loose thigh swivel. Let me know if you have this guy, if yours is also loose there. Knee joints, they bend in pretty nice, but not perfect. He does have a boot cut, but then at the ankle down here, it's really not good. I mean, that's all you're getting front and back. And then, like, pivot. It's like, forget about it. He's got, like, no ankle pivot. I can't... there's just nothing, man. There's, like, a little bit, but it's not... Like, doing a classic Glenn Webb thing, there's as wide a stance possible with still, you know, both feet flat on the floor. That's not a lot. It's... The legs, I mean... I would expect better articulation out of a figure that's $80 and trying to be like... I mean, he doesn't even have any cloth. I feel like they could have engineered him better and differently to give him a lot more articulation. One thing you can see, these loose... Let's pan out. These loose thighs actually do make it a problem. You can see. Look at him. It's actually a problem for him to stand up. That's why I had him in the base before, because... I mean, look at that. His thighs are so loose, they give out under his weight because he's heavy. That is a real shame, man. That's a real shame. And I don't know how much he was used by a previous owner before, because I did get him secondhand at the toy department. But yeah, that's a shame. That's a real shame that's like that. But other than that, pretty much other than some articulation woes and those really loose thighs, this thing blows me away. As my very first Mezco, I am completely, well, not completely, but I am very impressed. I think this thing's way nicer than I expected it to be. And honestly, it looked kind of plain to me in pictures, but like, it's kind of a classic Iron Man design. And even then, they still put in a lot of detail and a lot of look to him. I don't have a lot of classic stealth Iron Man in my life. I have like a Marvel Universe and like a Marvel Select, and that's it. And even then, the Select isn't supposed to be like super classic. But speaking of classic Iron Man, here, let's get his arm down. Oh, thanks, Repulsor Effect, for leaving. There it is with the Marvel Legends 80th one. He did have the Repulsor Effect, but it fell off. So yeah, he's a little taller than him. I think he fits in. He definitely fits in my opinion. I mean, it's not too much of a height difference. You can see the design elements, how they're definitely shared. He's got a lot of... There's a little burp there. Oh my gosh. He's got a lot of similar design elements. Kind of like the ribbed gloves, and then you can tell it's the same armor. It's the same thing, just kind of stylized and kind of represented differently. But yeah, as my first Mezco, I'm very impressed. Not perfect. It's definitely not a perfect figure, but it's still really good. Here, let's get him in a... Let's get him in like a, you know, he's like Joseph over here. He's like, yeah. I'm not gonna, you know, talk anymore on that. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Did he just reference that? Yeah, I did. Okay, I just did it. Anyways, there we go. There's my review of the Mezco 1/12 Collective Previews Exclusive Stealth Armor Iron Man. I love it. I recommend it. Either get this one or the gold and red one. Or I think there's like a Marvel Now deco, which is really expensive. But get that one too. That's a cool one. I really like this figure. It's really nice. How many more Mezcos am I going to get? I'll definitely get Mr. Freeze. But other than that, man, they haven't made much else that I've been interested in. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm very impressed with this. Very impressed. And I like it. I like it a lot. There we go. Make sure to come like and subscribe. Check my social media links, PO box address, and frequently asked questions down in the description below. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.